Hi students, it's been a long time to meet you all in Cherish Chemistry. Welcome back. So here we are standing in the beautiful district. Guess where? We are standing in Kanyakumari district amidst greeneries and we are inhaling fresh air. Yes, when I say fresh air, I remember the topic for our discussion. What is air? It's a mixture of gases. And you know which is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere? We have a guest today, so we'll ask some questions to our guest. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi.
Hi.
Yes. Which is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere, Jeffrey?
It's nitrogen.
Oh, nitrogen. Oh, cool.
Yes.
That's a great answer. Any idea what is the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere?
Approximately 78% of the atmosphere consists of nitrogen.
Oh, great, Jeffrey. That was a great answer. Good. Okay. So, this nitrogen, it is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere and, it is very, very essential for the existence of life, for the growth of plants. Now, in our body, we are comprised of amino acid, all the molecules, it consists of nitrogen. So, though it is abundantly present, this N2, which is there in the atmosphere, cannot be converted into usable form. Why? Because of the strongest bond, N triple bond N. Okay, it's a triple bond and it cannot be easily broken. So therefore, this N2 can be converted by a process called fixation of atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, so that's a process which is occurring in nature naturally, which is known as nitrogen cycle. Yes, you got me. So that is our topic of our discussion today. Okay, nitrogen cycle. What are the different steps involved in nitrogen cycle? How N2 is converted into usable form like ammonia, nitrate. Okay, so how it could be used by the plants, how it could be used by the animals. Okay, and finally how it get back to the atmosphere into N2 again. So this process we are going to learn in detail. Shall we get into the video? Yes, Cherish Chemistry. Hi students, welcome to Cherish Chemistry. Today we'll be discussing about a very important topic, the nitrogen cycle. I am your Javapriya, and in this video we'll see how N2 is getting converted into usable forms like nitrate, ammonia, okay, which can be used by the living organisms. So shall we get into the video? Yes. Nitrogen is an essential component of DNA, RNA, and proteins. And we know that DNA, RNA, and proteins are the building blocks of life, right? So, and all the organisms require nitrogen to live and grow. And in the Earth's atmosphere, as we saw in the introductory video, 78% of the Earth's atmosphere is comprised of nitrogen. But is this 78% available for the living organism? No. Why is it so? Now, because as we see here, the N and N, okay, the nitrogen atoms are connected by a triple bond. Okay, though majority of the gas is N2 in the atmosphere, it is not available for the usage of organism. The reason is it is because of the triple bond between the nitrogen atoms, and that makes the N2 very, very inert, or it means that it is highly unreactive. Okay, so what should happen? But there is a cycle in the atmosphere where the N2 is getting converted into nitrate, ammonia, okay, and many other forms so that the plants and animals can use it. So how is that happening? So that is happening because of the process called nitrogen cycle. Here we see how N2 is getting converted into nitrate, nitrite, ammonium. Okay, and so there are so many other things that are involved in this conversion. So we'll see that in the, yeah, here you can see how the role of blue-green algae, how the role of bacteria, how the nitrogen fixing bacteria. So all of them together, they are involved in this process called nitrogen cycle. Okay. So as we see here, what are the different forms of nitrogen that is there in the atmosphere? Yeah. So we have urea, we have ammonia, we have ammonium, we have nitrate, nitrite, and also the organic nitrogen. So all these are the different forms of nitrogen that is available in the plants and animals. Okay. So, and how are these different forms, how are these different forms available? By different processes, by different steps in the nitrogen cycle. What are the different steps? Number one, ammonification. Okay. Number two, immobilization, nitrogen fixation, nitrification, and denitrification. So these are very important steps which are helpful for the conversion of N2 into the usable forms. Okay, so conversion of N2 into the nitrate, ammonium, all happens because of these important processes. Okay, so we'll see them one by one. The first one is mineralization, which is otherwise known as ammonification. So what happens here? So this is a very natural process. So all of us, we are not going to live in this world, so for millions of years. So we have a lifespan. So after that, what will happen? So we get back into the soil, okay, as dead and decayed material. So for example, here we see a plant. Okay, so this has undergone death, and what will happen subsequently? Decay or even excretion of waste. So death, decay, excretion of waste. So all these happens because of the bacteria and the fungi that is present in the soil, or otherwise known as decomposes. So what does this decomposer do? They break down the proteins and ammonia that is present in the plants and animals into simpler compounds. Okay, I repeat, they break down the proteins to simpler compounds. Okay, so and during this process, a significant amount of nitrogen in the dead organism is converted to ammonium. So that's why we call the process as ammonification. So nitrogen or the organic nitrogen that is available in the plants and animals is converted into ammonium. So what do we call that process as? Ammonification. Very good. Next, we will see, yeah, the same ammonification. Yeah, how does it happen? By the decomposers. Okay, so what will this decomposer or the microorganism do? So the protease, lysosome, nuclease will degrade the nitrogen containing molecule. Now we'll see even more. See, these are the tiny things that are responsible for the conversion of your N2, your organic nitrogen into ammonium. Okay, the organic nitrogen that is present in the plants, the dead plants and animals is converted by the decomposers, okay, into ammonium. Okay, so yeah, organic nitrogen is converted into inorganic nitrogen. Yeah, and it is also pH dependent. When pH is less than 7.5, it converts rapidly to ammonium. Okay, so these are all the processes that happens because of death and decay. And the next thing is immobilization. Okay, so this is just the opposite to mineralization, and both these process, both mineralization as well as immobilization, no, it takes place because based on the carbon nitrogen ratio. I repeat, both the uh, mineralization and immobilization occurs based on the carbon nitrogen ratio. So if the carbon nitrogen ratio is less than 20, mineralization will occur, and if the carbon nitrogen ratio is greater than 20, immobilization will. Yes, as we saw in the first few slides, nitrogen gas, though it is abundant in the atmosphere, it cannot be used by the plants and animals. So there should be some processes or mechanism by which this N2 gas can be converted to a chemically available form like ammonium and nitrate. So this process of conversion of N2 gas into ammonium and nitrate is known as fixation of atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, so the N2 gas, which cannot be used by the living organism, is now getting converted by some processes, okay, to ammonium and nitrate. So this conversion into usable form of nitrogen is known as fixation. Okay, so this nitrogen fixation or N2 into nitrate or ammonium can take place by a special set of plants which consists of root nodules. Okay, so this nitrogen fixation can take place either biologically or by environmental process or through man-made ways. Okay, so any of these ways nitrogen fixation can happen. So the first way is biological, in which the bacteria which is there in the root nodules of certain crops like beans, peas. Okay, so they are the ones which helps the nitrogen to get converted into nitrate or ammonium. Okay, remember legumes is a type of is a family of plants where N2 is converted into nitrate and ammonium. And secondly, it can also happen by blue-green algae, which is present in the lakes and ocean. Okay, so in aquatic environment, the blue-green algae uh, does the role of converting N2 into nitrate and ammonium. And it also happens by environmental changes, mostly by lightning and volcanic eruption. So what will happen during those processes? There is so much of energy involved in those events, and that will break the N2 bond, and finally it will convert N2 into nitrate or ammonium. And another way in which N2 is converted is man-made ways. Okay, human impact by burning fossil fuels, by creating synthetic nitrogen. So we know Haber's process, right? Production of ammonia. So that is also a way in which N2 is converted into nitrate and ammonium. And yeah, so here you see there is a chart which gives you the majority of this nitrogen fixation happens by natural ways, and some by lightning and legumes, and also through synthetic nitrogen fertilizers, and also through fossil fuel combustion. So these are different ways in which the nitrogen is getting converted in various time period. If you can see, it happens in various time period. And yeah, again, now here we see how atmospheric nitrogen is broken down into nitrate and ammonium and other usable forms. Okay, so there are so many steps involved, as we saw just now: volcanic eruption, lightning, nitrogen fixing bacteria, okay, decomposers. So all these play a very vital role in the conversion of N2 to ammonium and nitrate. Okay, another process is nitrification. Okay, nitrification, where you have bacteria that add oxygen to nitrogen, so that it converts ammonia to nitrates. Okay, so bacteria that converts ammonia to nitrates, and we know that is again mostly abundant in the soil. So this happens in the soil. So this process is known as nitrification, conversion of ammonia to nitrate. Ammonia to nitrate. This happens in the soil. And again, here you can see how the microorganism is involved in the conversion of nitrates to nitrates. Nitrites to nitrates. Okay. Yeah, so again, it's the same chart which represents the different processes that is helpful for the conversion of N2 into various usable forms. Yeah. So the important bacteria that we have to remember is one is the Nitrosomonas and the Nitrobacter. Okay, so Nitrosomonas converts ammonia to nitrite and Nitrobacter converts nitrite to nitrate. Okay, so these are the different bacteria that are involved in the conversion. Another thing that happens in the human and the plants system is nitrogen assimilation. So these ammonia and nitrates that is available now in the atmosphere after the conversion of N2, what will happen? They by means of food, it gets inside the system as organic nitrogen. Okay, so that is how our cells and our body grows. By consuming food, the nitrogen gets into our system, and finally, we have DNA and enzymes. Okay, so all this contains nitrogen. Next, again, same process. Okay, it's just for us to remember what are the things that are happening. Hmm? And once all the processes of conversion of N2 to nitrate, ammonium, nitrate, all these things are happening. Definitely, the reverse also should happen. Got it? So, if N2 is converted into usable forms, again all these nitrates, ammonia, and all these forms should get back into the atmosphere into N2, and that's how the percentage will be maintained. So that process is known as denitrification. So conversion of nitrate back to N2. Okay, and how does that happen? Again, by means of bacteria. Okay, the denitrifying bacteria, which is present in waterlogged soil or wetlands, they are involved in the conversion of nitrate to nitrogen gas. Okay. And also, there is a huge impact of humans nowadays. Now, what we are doing is we are the excessive use of nitrogen fertilizer, okay, and usage of soap, all these things, uh, it puts more and more of nitrogen compounds into the atmosphere. So definitely that will make an impact on the nitrogen cycle ultimately. So see, there is a process called eutrophication, okay, because of large amount of nitrogen accumulation in the lake and water bodies. The death of lake is known as eutrophication. So and there is depletion of oxygen, and it leads to harmful algal blooms. Okay, so anything in excess, anything if we are sending to the atmosphere in excess, definitely that will create problem only to us. Now maybe we are not sensing that. No, we are just thinking the world and the earth as a dump yard, but definitely not. That is also a place to live. So no, we have to be very cautious before throwing anything into the atmosphere. So as we throw all these waste which is having rich nitrogen content, so slowly all these processes and one such as eutrophication happens, and that leads to an imbalance in the nitrogen cycle. Okay, so yeah, this is a quick a recap of what we studied. So what are the processes that we studied? Number one, nitrogen fixation. What does it do? Where the nitrogen bonds are broken and it is converted into usable form. Second, nitrification, where oxygen is added to form nitrogen oxide. Denitrification, again N2 is put back into the atmosphere. Ammonification, again it's a process of nitrogen cycle where waste is converted by decomposers. Assimilation, intake by the producers, so that it can be converted into proteins. Okay, so these are the very important processes that we should never forget in nitrogen cycle. Okay, so so as humans, as in the man-made pollution, we are again letting so much of N2 into the water and the air stream. So we have to be very careful as we let out the fertilizers into the atmosphere. Okay, so thank you. Hope you enjoyed this video and hope you understood. So that's the most important thing. So cherish chemistry. We'll again meet again with another video with cherish chemistry. So enjoy, uh, live and love every moment. Thank you. Thank you so much.